If you like it or not, gambling has become a very important part in meme and video game culture. I mean, just open Insta Reels and see for yourself.
God, Peter, you wore those pajamas to your pajoffice? Hey, at least I'm not drinking, Brian. Yes, and you call them steamed hams despite the fact that they're obviously grilled.
And even though it's completely normal now to have a slot machine in your video game, it wasn't always like that. Today, I want to talk about the different kinds of gambling and RNG in video games, its history, and many controversies along the way. So now, let's roll the dice, sit back and relax, and let's talk about one of gaming's most controversial topics. Quick disclaimer though, of course gambling is not a good thing and promoting it to a young audience is morally bad. I just wanted to talk about it in gaming in a humorous way, alright? So now that even the people way up there in the back understood it, yes, I see your TikTok comments, let's begin. Even in the beginning, yes, even back then, many video games, especially story games, were plagued with gambling minigames. From silly rounds of poker in Red Dead Redemption to Balatro to games with entire aesthetic being gambling, like Fallout New Vegas.
Platinum chip, I don't really know what it does, but I just know that you need to go get it. And then hopefully we can go to Hoover Dam together. I'll take you and get you a hot dog. We'll go to Hoover Dam.
You know what? The more I think about it, the crazier it gets what kind of obsession Nintendo had with gambling in its earlier games. In Mario Sunshine, you had a whole ass level and boss fights centered about gambling and the slot machine mini-boss. And in Mario 64 DS, Luigi had a full-blown casino. I mean, Toad is a waitress for God's sake. This is where the real gamblers started. Now, to get back on track, I don't think a bit of a casino minigame in video games or even the aesthetic is bad. If you use your game currency and are able to get it naturally without grinding or spending real money, I think it's fine. What I do hate though is if specific trophies or achievements are tied to it. I'm talking about you gambler challenges in Red Dead 2. I fucking hate you. It's just so annoying and makes stuff more difficult. I think if you maybe have a little side quest or you are able to get a bit more money with a gambling minigame, it's fine. But don't use it in trophies or something. But now let's talk about the real shit. Gacha games. The concept of gacha games is simple. You have an in-game currency which is extremely hard and grindy to get, except in the beginning where you get thousands of it. But because it gets too grindy after a while, you just spend thousands of dollars on it. Then you pull on your slot machine. I mean your crystals. For an either way too hot or way too young looking anime girl. If you're lucky, you get a good one with a good rating, which is way too overpowered, but only for the next few levels. Then your character suddenly sucks and you have to gamble some more. What I forgot to mention is that the gameplay 9 times out of 10 is fucking atrocious. Except you. You are an exception. Umamusume used the strategy and cracked the gambling aspect up to 10. This time, you have your gambling and slots with your anime girls in sports bets. There is honestly not much more to talk about. These games are mainly there to steal the cash from either 30-year-old men or way too horny teenagers who goon on Reddit all day. And honestly, if you fall for stuff like that, you honestly might deserve it. Yes, not every game is like this. Games like Genshin Impact as an example have great gameplay. Yes, it's a Breath of the Wild clone, but it's still great gameplay nonetheless. But they still have the gacha aspect on it. And Umamusume it's just funny as hell, what do you want me to tell you? But just a quick interruption before we jump to the next part. If you liked this video so far, I would love a like and a subscribe. It takes a lot of time and effort doing these animations, and it would help me a lot. But now let's continue with a big boy. Many video games even died because of this. Some parts of the world even banned it. The loot boxes is a very weird dilemma. On one part I think they are fine. If you can acquire in-game currency in a normal pace without much grinding and without spending millions of dollars on it, and the loot box mainly has cosmetic items that don't get you an advantage to the game you're playing, it's 100% fine. I mean, yeah, depending on your audience, it's still not really morally good, but in all honesty, if parents don't even control a little bit what their kids do on the internet, it's more on their part than it is on the 18+ game they are playing. What I think is a problem though, is when games give you an advantage in these boxes. Meet Star Wars Battlefront 2, the game that literally died because of EA's greed and the need to put loot boxes in everything. You probably have heard about it, so I'ma give you a quick recap. In this game, you had a limited amount of characters, the good ones only being available by buying boxes or playing the game for an enormous amount of time. You also have ability cards for your characters, which you only are able to get with those boxes. That means you can only get a character by buying a loot box, which you have to pay real money for, but you don't even have a 100% chance to get the character you want, no matter how much money you might pay. And even if you get the character, you can't even use him completely, because you have to first unlock his moveset with more gambling. This made the game almost unplayable, which is so sad because it was really fun. This made some countries even ban the whole system to begin with, and EA had to change things up. But after they did, it was already too late. The game sadly died very fast. But you know what the best thing about this is? A very important figure on EA, after being confronted with these loot boxes, she didn't address them as gambling. Do you want to know how or what she claimed the loot boxes were? She called them a surprise mechanic. A surprise gaming mechanic. You can't make this shit up, man. You know, looking back at this, I honestly can't believe we tolerated this for so long. This is scary shit. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. CSGO. For those who don't know, Steam lets their users sell in-game items, mostly Valve games though, for price of their choosing, with an in-game market of course. The price, of course, gets higher depending on things like condition of the item and rarity. Those items don't have an actually real-life value, but rather the value that the community gives to them. It's actually very similar to Pokemon cards. It's actually kind of scary. Now CSGO, or now CS2, is the fucking king of this market. In CSGO you can acquire different weapons or armor, and of course you have to gamble and use loot boxes for it. But the amount of what some of these items you can acquire are worth is fucking insane. Like, some of those weapons are worth a fortune. Don't believe me? This fucking knife is worth more than my yearly salary. I honestly think the fact that everyone at the age of 5 who has a Steam account can do this is kind of concerning. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said before, parents should look at what their kids are doing on the internet and playing. But I feel like making it this accessible isn't really helping either. The worst thing about it, it's the streamers though, in my opinion. Like, dude, the only difference between this and just streaming Book of Ra is that it's a video game. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really entertaining watching grown men screaming for getting a knife that's a little less dirty than the last one. But it's still gambling, and most of those guys still have a very, very young audience. They all know this. They all know how young and how many kids are watching them right now and using them as an example. It's very scary, and most of them just do this knowingly and keep going. And yes, I'm saying this for the third time, it's their parents' job. But it's still really, really disgusting in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, those guys make a whole fucking lot of money. It's insane. I could probably retire already if I were in their shoes. But is it worth it? Is it really worth it? And if you don't believe me, what I'm saying of how young most of their viewers are, please just open Onepix's chat and look at this. You can't tell me these guys are not out of preschool. At the end of the day, gambling in video games got a long way and is, in my opinion, a bit too normalized for my liking. But I guess that's a society issue as a whole, not just in video games.